Hello Darts Nuts, welcome to Darts Review channel. In this video I'm reviewing the Winmau Blade 6. What was that? I've got something on my chin. It's chocolate. I've been eating the Blade 6 chocolate bar, I couldn't resist it. Just a second, I'll get cleaned up. There we go, that's better. Right, so the Blade 6 triple sorry, Blade 6 triple core carbon. I couldn't resist it. So there's three dartboards in the new Blade 6 range. There's the standard Blade 6, the Blade 6 dual core, and obviously this one, the triple core carbon. Now it's too early to say whether the carbon layer is going to have any major effect. I think it's going to be around about 6 months or even longer before we can know whether it's working, but I still haven't opened up the board yet, the box yet, so I'll do that just now. But I like the new idea on the wires, that sounds good, and I also like the look of the new numbering, but we'll have to see what it's like when we get inside. But it's getting a bit like Gillette with their razor blades, all these extra cores. I mean, how many more cores can they add? That's 3 cores. Can't really see how they can add any more. Maybe next one, Blade 7. Add a little bit of fruitiness to your darts with the Blade 7 apple core. No, maybe not. Anyway, while I'm here, I want to show you the Winmau shirt. And as you might have seen, this came in the gift box that I showed you in the previous video. It's a really nice feeling shirt, and this is the large. Now, I'm around about 42-43 inch chest, so you can gauge yourself whether or not it might be the right size for you, but it's fairly close fitting, so if you want something a little bit looser, then you may want to go bigger. But it's got a very nice soft, cool kind of material, and as you can see, it's got the Blade 6 logo, and I don't know what colour that is. It's like a kind of a pinky orange. I think there's something on the back as well, but I can't remember what. It's got the Winmau Stealth logo on there. You got a zipped pocket with like a reinforced outer. It says airflow, so I think it's like one of them ones that keep you cool. But it's a nice stretchy material, so it does feel really, really nice actually. So that's a quick look at this. Let's check out the board. So the triple core carbon is £74.95, the Blade 6 dual core £59.95, and the standard Blade 6 is £46.95. Right, so there you go, Blade 6, 6th generation blade technology. I'm not going to go too much about what's on the box, but what I will do is I'll take a picture of the features, put that up on the screen, then you can pause it and read it at your leisure. But basically, the introduction of the carbon layer is on the backboard, and we've also got some new wires which are supposed to compress the scoring areas less. And like I say, this is the first time I'm opened it, so thank you for buying a Winmau dartboard. I didn't. Join us and keep up to date at winmau.com. Well, there you go. So first of all, we've got the Winmau instruction leaflet, and it looks like the normal kind of a bracket and the rotor lock wheels, things added, and it comes with the little spirit level for leveling the board. There's none of them cardboard things in the corners, so that's unusual. Right, there's nothing else inside the box. Usually have them little cardboard corner things on, but they haven't. And normally they always have like the little sachets of silica to help prevent the moisture. So that's the first look I have on it. Now, initially from the first look, the numbering doesn't seem to be going quite round to the edge of the board, and I think it's made of metal. Let's have a look. Feels like it is. So it's kind of a similar font to what's on the Unicorn Ultra, but the difference is the Ultra ones are kind of welded onto the round wire. This is like a flat wire, and the numbers are kind of on the inside of there, so these numbers are flatter against the board. Now initially, first look, it looks just as you would expect it to be for a blade. Got a nice spider, but this one has got the legs coming out. On some of the new boards they're kind of embedded differently, and they seem to have done away with those legs. Colour wise, I actually think the Ultra was a little bit better in the colours. The reds on these are slightly kind of a orangey pinky colour. I don't know if that comes across on the camera or not, but certainly not bad from first impressions. I'm going to have a closer look at it just now, but spider is very nice and flat against the surface of the board, and I prefer it that way. I think having it as flat as possible against the board reduces the bounce outs on the wire. I got a little bit of reservations on the number ring though, because it doesn't seem to be going round the board quite neatly. Maybe just because it's been in the box, and it feels as if they're strong enough, but they only seem to be tacked on by a little tiny bit there, but I'd be surprised if you could knock them off with a dart. They feel strong, so from first impressions it doesn't look anything drastically different than what a blade normally looks like. You got your different logos, and the number ring, like I say, it sits flatter against the board. But let's have a look on the back. So there we are. This is where it gets a little bit more interesting. It actually has got a carbon fibre back in there. Now, if you looked at the picture on that I was talking about, where it tells you the features, it was showing you the carbon fibre layer on the backboard, but I don't know if this means it's actually, no, I think it's just a sticky part on there, but I think in between that and the fibres there's another carbon layer. I think this is just a sticky section on the back, because I don't know if you can see that it's kind of coming off a little bit there, so I don't think that is the feature that's part of the board. Gone a little bit more fancy there, but as you can see, got the metal surround keeping it all together. So let's have a closer look at it. So start with the bullseye, and again, like I said before, I do suffer with astigmatism, so it's always a little bit difficult for me to be sure, but I can't really see any issues there. It looks as if it's nice and central. Just a slight little bump on there, but I never expect them to be perfect, because obviously when the spider cuts through to the sisal there, you're going to get some slight rough edges here and there, but on the whole it looks pretty neat. But it's super flat, that spider. So we'll just go through the logos. You got a very clear white Winmau logo there, and there's no longer BDO logos or any other corporations. So there's the triple core name and the blade 6th generation, and on the other side you've got the triple core again. So just a quick look at the number ring. It's got a kind of a grey kind of a colour, but it's definitely made of metal, and as you can see, the numbers are on the inside of the wire, and it's a kind of a flat square edged wire. So I did say on the Ultra that the numbers were a bit better than the round wire numbers, because you can get kind of a springing off the numbers if you hit them, but you still get that on the Ultra simply because the numbers are tacked on the outside, and there's a little bit of gap, as me and a friend found the other day when we were trying to hit the zeros on the 20, and one dart bounced out. But this is very flat against the board, so I don't think that's going to happen at all on this one. And for the people who like to use the zeros and that, you can still use them. Obviously you can't use it on the 4 unless you want to get in that little gap, but the 9s and all the 20s and the big zeros, so any games that you want to play that involve the zeros, you can still do that. But again, that's been a personal thing. Some people still play the traditional kind of pub games. So now I might have to adjust my camera here because I think the lights are affecting it. So there you go, it's a little bit better. So have a look at the spider. So you've got the radial legs coming out, but there's no issues there. There's no like damage on the outside from the spider getting pressed into the board, so that's great. Now let's see if I can get a bit closer to the board itself. I think you're seeing the colours a little bit more as they are here. It's always a little bit difficult because I have my studio lights on, and depending on how the lights hit the camera can affect it, so I can change the settings in the camera to compensate, but you will find things changing. So the black's very neatly done there, but there's nothing wrong with the colouring. It all seems to be fine, but I do think the reds have a slight kind of orangey pinky colour. Probably look worse on the camera than they do to the eye though. But the surface of the sisal, look how close it is to the spider's wire. That's pretty good. Really nice and neat. Let's move to the bullseye. You see how flat that is. So just having the wiring like that I think helps to reduce the bounce outs as well. But oh, did you hear my knees clicking? There you go, first impressions out of the box. It's all very neat. Nothing really to complain about, to be honest. Apart from maybe, like I said, the colours on the reds, but it's not really a major issue. But can't see no veins either, so again, all very good. Right, so it's up on the wall now, and as you can see, it looks pretty neat. But the only thing is that, like I say, the numbering didn't seem to go quite around the board, but it's not really a major issue. I just manipulated it a little bit, so it's better than it was. And as you can see, it's got the rotor locks on, and I did use the little level that it came with. So there you go, you just put it in there like that, and you can stick a dart in there to keep it level. So that's the Winmau Blade 6 triple core carbon. I'm going to walk to the hockey. I'm probably going to trip over the edge now. Where is it? There it is. So I'll try and zoom in a little bit. So I'm trying to equalise it just to get it the same kind of size as what I can see from the hockeys, around about there. So let's throw some darts. Alright, first dart, single 12. I think them colours are definitely not red. I'm wondering if they're meant to be like this, so whether they've deliberately changed it to a kind of a more orangey colour, I don't know, but it kind of looks a little bit weird. I don't know how it comes across on the camera, but definitely not a red colour. Now, I have said before that I think the rotor locks, it's a great idea, the rotor lock, but I think it definitely transfers some of the sound into the wall. But definitely that top layer of the board, nice and soft, and that's just kind of sinking in. But that is the purpose of the top layer. Just allows your dart to go in nice and easy. But the inner core makes sure that the darts don't fall out, so that's keeping hold of the darts. And the softer outer layer heals really nice. And them just few holes, although they're visible, they're not massively visible, so it's definitely a nice healing board when you've got the soft layer. But I still think the rotor locks are making the sound transfer a little bit woody. Let me see how far they're penetrating the board. So they're going in quite a long way. I'd definitely say that's close to 15 mil. I know I'm using the Arrow's apex points, which are quite thin, so they do go in a little bit far. But yeah, I think they're all going in pretty evenly, so that's a good sign. Because I have noticed on a few of the boards lately, there seem to be some harder spots, but I think you can go wrong with the dual core in terms of holding your darts. You shouldn't really have any issues with bounce outs because Spider is nice and flat, and the soft surface just allows your darts to sink in. Now the black sections are really nice deep black. Greens, not bad at all, but them red sections definitely has a kind of an orangey colour. Now for the number ring, it's not an issue with it being that grey colour. It's not something I worry too much about anyway, but it just seems to be slightly subdued because of the colouring. So for some people I think that might be a good thing, because puts your focus onto the board. But I can't see why this board won't be a nice wearing board, but I did have some problems with the last dual cores that I had. After about 6 months they started to go a bit lumpy and the fibres were coming out. So I asked them if that carbon layer was going to prevent that, and they said it is. So the carbon layer that's on the dartboard is meant to make it more durable and hold the sisal fibres in better, so only time will tell if that's the case. So I can't really tell you that in this short review, but just throwing them few darts in, I can barely see the holes, so it certainly heals up well. But like I say, that is the advantage of that softer layer. There was something else I was going to say. Oh yeah, in case anyone's asking, I also asked if the numbering would be sold separately, and they said no. So there you go, that's the Winmau Blade 6 triple core carbon, and same price as the Unicorn Ultra, 75 quid. And I did go on the Ultra video about why I think things are rising in price, and I was correct. So we've got 3 boards, a little bit more expensive than the previous ones, but are they any better? A little bit difficult to say at this point, but I have to say, out of the box, if you ask me to compare Unicorn Ultra, I'm looking at it, it's down the floor there, and the Blade 6, I actually think the Ultra looked a little bit nicer out of the box. Colours were better on the Ultra, and overall just a little bit neater, but not a lot in it. Like I said on the Ultra video, the top of the range boards now, they're so marginal in the differences. But the fact is, even though that's 75 quid, I bet you I've already ordered one. Most people who are seeing this now, because like I said before, Winmau have captured the market and people will be rushing out to buy it regardless of whether it's any good or not. It should be fine though. I mean, we all know the blade boards are pretty good, but the blade spider is a little bit more flush to the board than the Ultra, so it's nicer in that respect. The colours are a little bit strange, I don't know, unless I've just got one where the ink has been a bit weak or something. But I think the Blade 6 is definitely a better healing board straight out of the box. I haven't really used the Ultra that much, so I don't know how it's going to be like when that's worn in. But I think the main question is whether or not that carbon layer is actually doing anything. Is it just a gimmick? Is it just being put in there as a new feature just for the sake of having something different? Again, I can't really say. Performance wise, I doubt it does anything at all. It's all about the durability, which it said, and we won't know that until we've tried it for a while. So I'm tempted to get a Blade 6 dual core, and I'm also tempted to get a Blade 5 dual core just to see if I can compare and see any differences, because I don't have any dual cores at the moment now. So I may do that in a future video, but anyway, it is what it is. So hopefully this video just helps you to decide a little bit better, and like I said, I'll update when I've done 20 hours. So that's about as much as I can do in this video, so I'll leave you with a little bit of a gallery. So that's that. Happy darting, and I'll see you on the next one.